Hey, so this is video 2 of 2 where I lost audio because of a power outage, and somehow I only lost the microphone audio and not the actual song audio in the file, which makes no sense. Figure that out because I can't. Either way, this one was requested by Ziggy Cuff in my executive producers, and I'm going to be listening to this one. I was given the context that this is like a song about cleansing in the in-world lore, and while I am aware of some of the lore, I'm also not like perfectly versed in it, so I'm definitely going to get some things wrong for sure. I mean, I can't pretend like I didn't listen to the song, have my thoughts, and won't, so that's why you're getting this, because I really did not want to lie about it and feel like there was some other cheap aspect to just re-recording and acting like it didn't exist. So what I'm doing today is just giving these a shot, listening to it, and I'll actually be watching these videos with you and just giving you my thoughts about it while the song kind of plays. So starting off here, obviously I was very like surprised by the audio, and then I was laughing because this was like the most, like, I think I said karaoke styled intro I've ever seen, with like the bad like lyrics coming in, like the video like title and everything was just kind of cheesy in like a fun way, but also really cheesy, even down to like that fade out there. So it was just a little goofy. This feels so weird doing this director's commentary sort of thing. But anyway, so a lot of this video, I'm not really gonna have much to say because I didn't have much to say in the song reaction. I had a lot to say after it, but mostly for this song, I was just kind of listening to like how the song was working and going, man, I love how they do like the vocal processing in these. It's so cool, and I'm aware that there are two voices, like, well, same voice, like same singer, but they're two different characters. I was told that by Ziggy Cuff, so like I was aware of that. But largely, I'm just kind of like sitting here getting hyped about how they're like handling the pacing and everything. I'll try to shut up though, so you can at least hear some of the song. I was kind of roasting myself in the last recording for some of my expressions and how my face is so weird when I record. And the way I like look around confused all the time. Like, I've never really watched my own videos despite editing them. I don't like actually watch the whole thing. I just kind of cut where I know that there's a gap. So this is kind of weird watching my expressions. But as is the case with a lot of our Tonelico stuff, I was really taking in like the sound profile. And for this one, and right here especially, like the emotional shift in the song, going like way more angry, talking about like how it got a little bit more metal. You can see that in my face. I'm like, ooh, the stank, just south of a stank face. I think I was reading the lyrics, and that's why my eyes looked like that there. I think right there I mentioned something about how I like that the whole song, like all the samples and everything, feel artificial in a way, which kind of like adds to that ethereal sensation. I don't think I ever brought that back up in my analysis afterwards, and of course I'll explain why when we get there. I think right here I was talking about like the moment that this like more angry voice was kind of starting to come to terms with things and try to reflect a little bit. bit of a tone shift, I think, is what I was talking about there. Just feeling that because the voice changed as well. It got more like full compared to the like multi-layered like angry thinner sound that it had. Really wish I remembered what I said there, but I really don't. Is the worst part about having to do this. Right here, I was kind of like noticing what they were doing with the story and like trying to tie them together, and I was putting all that together in my own mind. And then like right here. Yeah. I loved that relationship. That's what largely I'll be talking about in the next section. Okay, so yet again, just going to be my voice, but just, you know, you're going to hear me talking about what my thoughts were for the story. This one went on for a while. I think this would have been a very much longer video because I think this raw recording is about 18 or 19 minutes of me just yapping. So in some ways, some of you might prefer me not going on that long, but my overall thoughts here were that this song was intriguing because I was understanding this relationship and I was wanting to explain why this felt this way. But effectively, this song to me felt like kind of what it would feel like if a singular God had like two separate consciousnesses in their mind, and like one was much more pessimistic, one was much more optimistic, and there was that like kind of yin-yang balance that like it's hard to find that, and I'm not sure how accurate that is to the lore, because I have gotten lore dumps from Ziggy Cuff and Renshin before in my executive producer queue, but also I'm not going to remember every single little thing, right? Like, that would be unrealistic, but part of me just wanted to kind of preface that, like, even before this section started, I was just like, hear me out, because I don't fully know, and I'm just putting in theories here. It feels like this is like a singular omnipotent force that has separate consciousnesses that are of different, you know, ideological pathways, one being more optimistic, one being more pessimistic. And that is something that I thought was super intriguing to like take it on that way. I'm not sure if that's how it actually is. It very well could be two completely separate beings, and I'm just like putting my own theory into this. But that was something that I thought was a really cool idea, if that's what it is, because I know they're two separate characters, but you could do that technically if you have one being that has two separate personalities. That's kind of a way to handle that. So I thought it was kind of neat as a concept to approach it in that way and let that be the way that they personify that argument in the mind, because one was like seeing the real world, the gritty real shit, the loss of life, the war, the famine, all the negative, while the other one was kind of silent and letting that angrier side have its moment to scream into the ether and just kind of like get it out there as like a cathartic release, no pun intended. And I was like, this is so cool. I was loving how they were handling that, and I thought it was such a neat way to handle that argument if that's what it was actually doing. Again, this could very well just be completely an inert point, because it could just be a theory and it could be two completely separate people. But at the same time, I just thought it was such a cool concept to approach it in that way. And I was just going off about that for literally like, how long was this video? Like 18 minutes? I think my yapping session alone was like probably 12 minutes of that just post song. I was going ham on this one. But anyway, kind of just more on the the oopsie daisy of what happened. We had a power outage and somehow this audio was corrupted. I don't know how it happened with one layer. And this proved to me that I really should get like an uninterruptible power supply so this doesn't happen again, because this was so frustrating. I already crashed out about it. I was bummed about it for like a solid 2 hours when I realized. I was so pissed. I was contemplating just redoing the videos, but that felt so disingenuous. I could not pull myself to do that. It just feels so wrong to make a video that's an honest reaction and then rip that away and act like it never happened for the sake of a content boost, you know? So like, fuck that. I just wanted to get my thoughts out. So I figured this like director's commentary version of the video was the next best answer, even though it wasn't. Like, side note here, I mentioned this in the Millie reaction that I also lost audio for, but I was playing Genshin Impact when the power outage happened, and I also lost like a good chunk of progress on a very annoying world quest in there, and I was just like, no. I mean, like, it sucked, but at the same time, it's such a wild thing how computers manage to do that. But I am very aware that I just need to get a UPS now, because there's no way that should have happened. And there was definitely a way to like fix that. So I think I'm just going to go for it and grab a UPS at some point, just so I don't have to risk that ever again. But I guess that's about the end of this video. Thank you, Ziggy Cuff, for putting this into the queue. Sorry this is what happened to your video. I really wish that this wasn't the reality that we live in, but it is. So we live with the best we got, and this is the best I could offer without completely lying to you guys. But if you have something else from Tonelico, by all means, drop in the comments below. I actually have 2 people now who request Tonelico stuff on a regular basis in the executive producer's guaranteed queue. So that's Ziggy Cuff and Renshin, and I'm sure they're going to be doing a lot of this, so you can either trust them to get to the best of the best, and I'll do videos on those as they give them to me, or you can request whatever you want down below, and I will do my best, as I usually do, to just pick one at random on occasion and just make a video on it. But with, you know, that constant rotating door now with both of them requesting stuff, I just don't think that'll ever need to happen. Maybe I need to make a playlist for these too, because I feel like it's going to just need it after how many more I'm going to be listening to, knowing them. So I guess if you got something, let me know. But I guess if you enjoyed this video, even with the very unconventional format compared to my other videos this ended up being, then you can always follow me and support me. You know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!